Have you ever had a weird physical symptom come up that you just couldn't figure out why? That there's no obvious physical reason for it. That you didn't injure yourself recently, you haven't eaten the wrong thing that you're aware of, yet it's really bothering you and you'd like to actually get rid of it. If so, maybe it's time to look at your emotions or unhealthy thoughts that could actually be triggering it. If so, be sure to watch this week's video because I'm going to discuss exactly how your unhealthy thoughts and emotions really do affect your health and overall well-being. Hey, and remember, if you really want to get the issues out of your tissues and discover exactly what the heck state-based healing is all about, make sure to ring that bell and subscribe and stick around because every week I share with you my unique perspective of the 35 years that I've been in the health and wellness industry. So last week I talked about why we have to get sick in the first place. And if you haven't seen that video, make sure you pop over here and check it out. Today, we're going to look at really how your unhealthy thoughts and emotions could be affecting you physically. So here's the thing. You know, we've all had weird rashes or pains or aches or just symptoms that come up out of nowhere. Maybe you've tried some over-the-counter pain medication or creams or this or that and kind of went away, didn't go away. So then you go to your doctor and then they give you something bigger to suppress it, get rid of that pain and inflammation. And sometimes it goes away, sometimes it doesn't. You know, we've all been there. And the reason for this is because it's not actually a physical cause. Yeah, there could be some physical symptomology going on that's manifesting it, but it's actually being triggered by some deeper unhealthy emotions and thought patterns and beliefs that you've not properly worked through and are filtering to the surface. Think of it this way. We all have traumatic experiences that we go through and they affect us emotionally and mentally and we can keep, suppressing it and stuffing it down, but over time, think of it like, filling up a glass of water and eventually that water starts to overflow and trickle over. And once it's overflowing, every time you add something else into that, it just overflows. That's the way your emotional and mental body works. So once it's overloaded with crap, you can't take on something else. Have you ever noticed that sometimes if you're hanging on to a whole bunch of emotional stuff and somebody comes at you with either anger or they're really upset or whatever, that you quickly react emotionally? That's your stuff. That's because you're like a volcano waiting to erupt because you're so full of unresolved emotional and mental conflicts that every little drop overthrows you. And even subtly, if you're carrying a lot of unhealthy thoughts and emotions and you're not allowing yourself to express and release them fully, have you ever noticed how you tend to, I know I sometimes do this where I realize my shoulders are tense, that I'm all hunched up, that my breathing is shallow. All of these things are supposed to be unconscious processes, yet we somehow consciously affect them based on how we're feeling and thinking. Our physical body expresses, even in subtle ways, what maybe we're hanging on to at a deeper soul spiritual level. Crazy, I know. So comment below, have you ever had a weird physical symptom that came up that had absolutely no physical explanation for, that just aggravated the heck out of you? And how did it make you feel? Share in the comments below. So sometimes those weird symptoms that you have, they kind of come and go. Have you ever noticed that where, you have this weird symptom come up, nothing for physical reason for it, but then after a little while, it just filters away and you think, oh, it went away, I'm good to go. That's because actually our life force can't maintain trying to get your attention for a very long period of time. Well, because you got to do other things in life. You got to digest food. You got to physically do this. You got to go here and do that. Have you ever noticed that sometimes when you have a headache or you're feeling achy and unwell, but then you go out and do something that you enjoy doing, how all of those symptoms subside? Our body and our soul and our spirit have such amazing ways to try to keep balance and to allow us to keep moving forward in life, even though we have this baggage over here that we haven't actually worked through. our sustentative and generative life force, which you don't know what those are, make sure you go to my website and check it out. And I explain them in every one of my healing kits, and my upcoming membership site, I'll dive even deeper and bigger into your life force and how to fix it and resolve it, all in the best and highest ways. But for now, really learning to listen to your body and the physical symptoms, and how those physical symptoms are the expression of what often people talk about your soul spiritual being is really your thoughts and your emotions. That's how your soul and spirit manifests physically, is in your thinking and your feeling, because you're a human being. And so you have all these things going on at once, and they all interplay together, and they affect your health and your life in whatever way it needs to for you to fix your health and be the greatest that you can be. And if you've never stopped to really think on your thoughts, I'm going to share this with you. Did you know that man is the only living being that can actually think about its own thoughts? Makes you go, Animals do not have the capacity to actually think about their thoughts. If they did, that would be really scary, actually. They function on a completely different level than humanity does. We have the ability to sit in our own heads and think about the thoughts that we're thinking. And that actually creates the most disturbance of anything. I know, because I am such a massive head thinker. I'm literally like a talking head at times. And I've had to work really hard at trying to get out of my thoughts, which is why I have a great mindlessness exercise, which I'll share over here. However, our thoughts are one of the most damaging things that we have in our life, and we really are our own worst enemy. Definitely something to make you go, So take some time this week and really stop and pay attention to where your thoughts go off, especially when you notice your body getting tense or anxious, or if your headache comes on, or whatever weird symptom. If you get this weird ache in your back, stop and reflect on it. Really make yourself wonder about because really it's your emotional body tensing down. That's often what causes most of our aches and pains. Okay, diet, yes, you can go over and check that over here. But your thoughts and emotions do physically cause your body to contract. And if that's happening, I want you to be attentive to it this week. Really, really focus on what thoughts trigger the most tension in your body. And if you really have a lot of unhealthy, anxious thoughts, if you're fearful, if you're frustrated, if you're just don't know where you are, if you're overwhelmed completely, make sure you grab one of my Ioma healing kits right here. And I'll share it in the links below, because they will help you consciously and unconsciously release all of your thoughts and your emotions that are affecting your physical body in the fastest, most effective, natural way possible. And if you want to learn even more about how your thoughts and your emotions actually really do trigger physical symptoms, go over here and check out these other videos. And for the rest of this week, remember, be authentic, be empowered, and own it completely. Bye.